this case, a is not 1, and so we do have to worry about it. So we got to find these magic numbers, part 1. So n1 times n2 has to equal whatever 18 times negative 4 is. It's got to be the product of a and c. So what is that? If you multiply something by 4, you just double it and then double again. What's 18 doubled? 36 doubled? No. 72. There we go. So it's going to be negative, isn't it? Positive 18 times negative 4 is negative 72. So they have to multiply to negative 72, and they have to add to b, just like before, which is negative 21.
Is that supposed to say a minus c and t, or just O?
That's a time sign.
Oh.
Yeah, a times c. n1 plus n2 equals b, right? Oh, multiply. That's supposed to say add to b, not and to b. So I gotta fix that. So that's supposed to be n add to b, right? So n1 plus n2 equals negative 21. So this part is just the same as before, right? So what do we know about the signs of the numbers? If they multiply to a negative and add to a negative, what's that tell you? So, okay, so there's going to be a negative and a positive, and the negative has to be bigger, right? Okay, so when we make our table, that's useful. So we got n1, n2, and then n1 plus n2. Okay, so let's just try to find some then where the negative factors of negative 72, where the negative is bigger. So we'd have something like 1 times negative 72 adds up to negative 71. That's too big. So we got to work our way down a little bit, right? 2 times negative 36 would be, what's that add up to? Negative 34. How about 3 times negative 24? That's it, isn't it? Right? 3 times negative 24 equals negative 72, and it adds to negative 21. So those are our magic numbers, right? Okay, step 2. Step 2 looks almost the same as what we did before. We're going to set up a template that looks almost identical. So the template just looks like this, right? And we're going to put x's here, just like before. But this time, we're going to add the magic numbers to x, just like before. But the magic numbers are going to have to be divided by a. Each of them has to be divided by a, which is 18, right? So we end up with x plus 3, but the 3's got to be divided by 18. And we get x minus 24, but the 24 is divided by 18. So same as before with our magic numbers, but each of them gets divided by whatever a is. They did before also, but we just didn't know it because a was 1, so we didn't have to do it, okay? So then what do you think we do next? That's step 2. Reduce fractions. Okay, so step 3, and I'm just going to color code these so you kind of follow the progress here. What does this first one become? 3 over 18 reduces to what? 1/6. So we get x plus 1/6 times x minus 4/3, right? Because I could divide 6 into both of those. Everybody agree? So the 24 divided by 6 is 4. 18 divided by 6 is 3. So I can turn that into a minus 4/3. And then the last step is the bottoms up step. So if a number remains in the denominator, which is the bottom of the fraction, if a number ends up in the bottom of the fraction, it gets moved from the bottom up to the front. It becomes the coefficient of x. So in this first fraction, the 6 is going to go up in front of the x. So we end up with 6x plus 1. And then over here, the 3 goes up in front of the x. So we get 3x minus 4, and we're done. That's it. Okay? Just that easy. So it's really not that bad. I mean, the whole first part is pretty much the same. The only part that changes is when we divide by a and reduce, we just have to go bottoms up then. Okay? So try one of these. Try this guy on your own real quick. Try that. Yeah, 18 times 4 is 72. Okay, so everybody's up, don't put out, try it, see what we get. Notebooks out. Okay, does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah, and also about my freshman year, my sophomore year, alright, this year's. Literally say legs. I don't know. I was talking to William.
Okay, what's the negative 72? Okay, but you're multiplying A times C, so it's 18 times 4, so it's positive 7. So they multiply to positive 72, not to 97. Okay, so you gotta find out, you make your table.
I got 6.
And then just start with 1, obviously. Right. So you know, 1 times 7. So that's each, so 2 goes in each. And then 3, you just gotta work your way down.
Yeah, excellent deal.
Okay, so you're doing, which one are you doing? That one, okay. Good. So they multiply to what? Say it again.
I'm working on it.
Oh, okay, okay.
Wait, okay, so this came A, and so
18 times 4, what is that? Same what we did last time, actually, right? Yeah.
It was easy.
Yeah.
I remember, you know what?
So, he didn't.
No, because Isaac had a, we don't play it.
I think not.
Yeah, we're not playing
Right, so then, now, let's try and make it a table. So, well, I know they're both gonna be negative on this. So both of them are positive. So we have -1 times -72. That's the gap.
Hey Nicholas Patrick. Good, I need to figure out who I'm requested to.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, you're my advisory teacher. Okay. I'll just say I'm one.
No, just go grab some paper. Grab a piece of paper. Okay, be right there. Wait, good. There you go. Add up stuff.
Okay, so I think the first.
You just keep on
Okay, so, yeah, that's good. Okay, so then, so those are magic numbers, right? Negative 3 and -24. So step 2, we're gonna add each magic number to x, just like before. So we get x minus 3.
Okay. I was just making sure, because I thought I knew who it was. Okay.
Divided by 8.
Bye.
So a is 8. See, just reduce the fractions and give off. Yep.
And she's been able to. She's there.
You can go more than that. You'll figure it out. You're on the right track. Make your table. That table really help.
She said Gage is coming. I need help with chemistry. I'm literally. Oh, I'm up again. I'm literally. Different reasons. I meant that. It's no, I literally tried to do it and I just can't. Solutions for geometry. Solution graphs. It took me. He probably won't let me play. I need to finish mine. We're done. Goodbye. Because people, just random grade. It's just straight grade. Just for yeah, not surprising. Not surprising.
So I got it wrong, you got it right.
No, it's really warm. Freezing.
Patrick, grab a seat.
I shaved my legs, as you can tell.
Nice.
Oh.
Good.
Oh, I still water my nose.
Shaved my legs one time.
Hey, real quick. Here we go. Attention up here real quick. Let's just zip through this. Hang on. Focus up here. Here we go. We're almost done. Okay, so
It's frozen.
it's frozen. You're right. It is frozen. Okay, so this is really similar.
So they would all be negative.
Okay, this is really similar to the last one we did, right? We got to find magic numbers. That's the wrong one. That's what we're doing. Then multiply to 18 times 4. That's 72, right? Okay, I need people to stop talking real quick. Okay, 18 times 4 is 72. So we got to get magic numbers. So N1 times N2 equals 72. N1 plus N2 equals B, which is negative 27. Make the tables. If you're having a hard time finding those, make the tables. I'm going to skip it because we're out of time. So that's going to be N1 equals negative 24 and N2 equals negative 3, right?
Correct.
So what's that do? Then we end up with x minus 24 and x minus 3, right? But I got to divide the magic numbers by 18 again, right? and then I reduce the fractions. So I get x minus, that reduces to 4/3. That reduces to 1/6. And I just go bottoms up, right? I'm done.
Pretty much just the
Yeah, that's fine. Yes. Cheyenne, you're already requested somewhere, it looks like. Yeah. Sorry. Anybody else want to be requested? Nathan, I got you. I don't like this seating chart. We're changing this.
What?
This class, I don't like the way the seats are distributed.
Why not?
I don't feel like enough gets done back there. So I gotta.
I feel like a lot's gets